Is how did you come up with the goals? I feel like those things are very vague. I mean, right now I'm at this point in my life, I don't know if I want kids, I don't know if I want to get married. And no, for it, like, and you can't keep planning for every single need. I mean, I understand like having an emergency fund in case you lose your job. I don't know if I'm going to have 3 kids or no kids. I don't know, like, you know, like, without being vague, what would you suggest is a sort of retirement for somebody to think about? And also, what are the kind of things that you should consider? I mean, yes, I get kids and funerals and all that stuff, but yeah, what would you suggest if I'm going to sit down today? What's the first or 2-3 steps I should take?
So, remember what I said earlier around what happens on average, and you are very close to average. So we rebel against this as a generation, right? But you will really be surprised. Like, do you notice that you all finish university at roughly the same time? Do you notice there's a wave when people roughly get married? There's a set year when people retire. Like, there's, as much as we are unique in our day-to-day, over and above, we're broadly average, right? And whenever you see stuff like that, you're like, this might differ from mine, then it doesn't hurt your option value, right? So say you don't know if you want kids, but you're like, maybe I will. Say people get usually, I don't know, usually I'm not imposing something on you guys. I'm saying if you look at the statistics for a country, you get a usual number, right? So say, I'm making this up, maybe the number is 2. Maybe it's 1, like I don't know what the number is, right? Then plan around that, right? Plan around roughly when these kids will be born, right? Because you today doesn't want these things. But you today is not the same as you in 5 years. And that person in 5 years will wish that you today made certain decisions. So plan for that person in 5 years. Like, all you're doing with this stuff is asking, what does a person when I'm 60 need? Let me start creating that today while it's easy. Right? And maybe when you're 60, you're wrong about what you need, but you have more money. That doesn't hurt. Get what you need instead. Right? Sometimes you're just buying option value, but you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how many people are in a very normal place for the path that they took. Right? Like, a lot of partners in consulting firms didn't think they'd be partners. That's normal. Right? The smaller ratio of people across firms came in saying, I want to be this. Right? A lot of people figured it out as they went. They're like, oh, I really like this. But on day 1, they're like, oh, I want to be a partner. Right? Then you're in this path and you stay, then you become a partner. Right? A lot of people, when they're 20, are like, I'll never get old. And then you're like, oh, that's a lie. Right? You'll be surprised how often we are closer to average. So just plan for that. And then as you get older and learn yourself more, then you'll refine for yourself. But you've built in the benefit of compounding.
I'll answer a bit more specifically. I'll tell you what I did. So when I was figuring out what my goals were, I read a lot, and we mentioned the 4 things that drive your expenses. But the one that made most sense for me to think about was my day-to-day. So where do I want to live next year? Is it different from where I want to live now? What do I want to be driving? How often do I want to eat out and travel and that kind of stuff? How much do I think that the expense of my life will grow? And what I did was I looked at my past. I looked at my past, I think 3 years, and I saw that it's actually been increasing, which means that should there be kids, it's times4, not times2, because they don't earn money, right? So they're part of your paycheck, right? And there's a lot of principles around it. But what I found was actually when I did that, then like now I started thinking about, okay, so what do I actually want to do when I retire? One of the things I want to do is like have a restaurant. What does that cost? And then you work backwards. And that's how I ended up at that exorbitant 200 million number. Because once you start, it's kind of like a rabbit hole. Which is good. Just set aside a day to do it. You'll finish, you'll model later. But the important thing is be honest with yourself, right? Because there are people who, there's something that you want to do that's not work. It's there somewhere in the back of your mind. Maybe you want to be a politician. Maybe you want to be a pastor. Maybe you want to start a restaurant, whatever it is. There's a thing that drives you. Figure out how much getting that thing will cost you. That's the first. I think, the most important goal that gets you going. If you're not sure you want kids, plan for them anyway. Kids are expensive. I think in the first year, each child costs $16,000. So,
Exactly.
I'm not sure that number is correct, but it's a number like that. When they start going to school, it's more. So if you do end up getting pregnant, then you're gonna have the 16,000. Like you don't want to start scrambling at that point. So plan for it. Like it doesn't hurt if you have the extra. Buy a house in the Maldives.